So about 2 weeks ago, I lost all my clients in my agency, and that's probably the worst thing that could happen to any agency owner, any business owner in general. And as bad as it sounds, it's actually turned out to be one of the best, maybe the second best thing that's happened to me in the last 2 3 weeks. And I'll explain. So, I signed this client at the early stages of my agency, and at this time, like I thought I had everything figured out, like my offer, my ideal client, my systems, everything. But the truth is, I was just winging it. Like I had no idea what I was doing, and that's one of the things about starting a business. So I think starting anything new in general is you're just figuring things out as you go, and sometimes that could mean saying yes to the wrong things. And not because like usually because you don't know any better, but sometimes just you just do it out of survival. Because I remember the very first client I signed, like I knew it was a terrible fit from day one. Like I was confident we could get a result, but seeing where she was coming from, it was one of the situations where I was like, I'm not sure. And but I was like 8 months into running the agency, like grinding day in, day out, spending all my time, putting like money into it. So I was really, really hungry for proof that this could actually work. So then I took the deal anyway. And then to be fair, like at the time, I was kind of proud because the truth is, so at the time I was charging like $1,000 upfront and 15% of like the revenue we make the clients. But then, like this client actually didn't have enough money to pay for the $1,000. Which, if there's any, if there's any, indicator that this would be a terrible idea, that it was that. But then she was willing to like pay $250. Again, that's my first client. I was like, if I could just make this work, I would use this as a case study to just like get new clients. So I had all the justifications for why it would make sense for me to actually sign this client. But then, like one of the things I was really proud about was she had to like pull together like three different credit cards to actually pay for it, which is crazy because then I thought like if I could sell something and have the other person on the other side of the screen, believe in this thing so much that they actually, you know, use all the last cash they had to pay for it, then oh yeah, I was just really proud of that fact. Anyways, I don't regret it. I actually learned a lot in the process of working with this client. I learned a lot about running my business. I learned a lot about dealing with clients, just even the type of people I wanted to work with. I built a lot of my systems and processes that I now use today off the back of these initial clients. So that was good. But also, like when I look back now, I kind of just think, if I had the courage to say no earlier, maybe I would have built something better, a lot faster. But who knows? And that's kind of like the first real lesson I've learned this year. And both in life and in business as well, is that misalignment is very, very expensive. And in business context, just because someone pays you doesn't mean it's worth it. You know, whether that's a client in a business, whether that's a job, whether even in relationships, I'd say like if it's draining you, then it's probably costing a lot more than it's paying. And yeah, so when I lost this client, and it all happened in a span of like 24 hours, even though I knew it was like a good thing, like a part of me knew it was good, but it also still hurts because a part of my identity as a business owner was tied to these clients because like they were the only proof that I had that I was actually running a business. And the moment I lost them, I was like that reality just shattered, and it's probably why I even still kept them even when I knew I shouldn't. You know, but again, like I said, like looking back, it was a good thing because it actually gave me something I didn't realize that I needed, which was freedom, like freedom to rebuild smarter, like actually, know exactly what I wanted to work with and actually build everything from scratch. But also just give me freedom to focus more on trying to get new clients, like clients acquisition, because instead of just like putting out fires, because that's exactly what I was doing for this clients, you know. And then yesterday, I signed a new client, which is great because this person is actually way more aligned with the way I want to, I want to run a company, the type of clients I want to work with, and she has real potential that we can leverage to actually get insane results. And this time it just felt different. Like I don't know if it's because I'd gone through this whole process of like signing a client, onboarding a new client, and all of these systems already in place, which I could only do from the initial clients that I signed. I don't know if that's the reason, but it just felt like clean, like it felt cleaner, it felt lighter, like it didn't feel forced. But I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, my goal now is just like really simple to just do great work with this client, with this new client that I signed, build proof and use this as a case study to sign even bigger clients. Um, but yeah, the point of this video actually is, if you're watching this and you are building something right now, maybe you're starting something new, I think it's worth noting that you're not supposed to have everything figured out from day one. Like it's very rare that you're gonna do like you're gonna mess up, you're gonna make bad calls, terrible judgments, you're gonna make mistakes. Like it's inevitable. So you might as well just keep going in the face of that. And as long as you don't quit, as cliche as that sounds, like you eventually realize that every single mistake, every bad call is just, setting the foundation for growth. Because it's just one of those things where if you don't make the mistake, you won't exactly know what's right. Because like is from making the mistake that you actually get to see, okay, that was wrong, then this is how you should do it. But again, that only appears if you're aware enough and taking feedback from things you're actually doing. And it ties back into something I've been thinking about a lot recently. That is the reason most people quit at anything is because the journey doesn't look the way they imagine. So, the expectations as to what it should look like doesn't match reality. And it kind of like just shatters a lot of people. And the easiest example I can think of is like going to the gym. So if you start going to the gym thinking in 2 weeks you're gonna look like a movie star, and weeks go by and you don't see any change in your body, that's disparity between what you expect and what actually happens is the reason why a lot of people quit. But if you start something knowing, expecting that it's going to be difficult, if you start knowing it's going to take months, maybe even years, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and that it's going to come with failures, like it's difficult to quit because that's what you expect anyways, right? So my point is, if you're doing anything worthwhile, understand that it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of time. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, and but the truth is, like, you're just building the kind of like just the base for the growth that is coming if you just keep showing up. But anyways, that's my rant for today, and I actually hope this helps someone who's in that building phase or in that rebuilding phase. If you're there, just stay patient, stay consistent, and yeah, just keep showing up.